Skype Arena. Let's see. Okay. Speak for me a second, mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's just that I'm trying to turn you up on my side, without turning you up too loud, so I can like then turn my headset volume down, but turn my Skype broadcasting volume
Yeah.
up. Okay, so hopefully that should be a little bit better. All right, awesome. We'll give that a try anyway, and then we'll just get started. So all I'm going to do very quickly is just run over the build step by step and show you, and then give you a chance to do it as well, and then we'll sort of go from there, and then we can look at the replays that you had today as well, just to see what stuff you faced.
The last replay, actually the one I managed to save. I tried to proxy the barracks,
Okay, cool. Awesome.
but I did see it, so that's why I lost the game. I guess.
Not enough minerals.
Alright, thank you, Augment Gaming. Yeah, they're saying the volume's sounding better. Okay, so all we're doing is just making SCVs right now. Really, really simple.
Up to.
So we're waiting for it to go to 9 supply, and then we're going to rally our command center over to the ramp. Like, simple as that.
Yeah.
So this will be like our 10th worker, and it pops out. We queue up another one as well, and then we're just going to go over and make the depot and start our wall in. Nice and simple.
Oh yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so after that is when we want to make our barracks, and we're just trying to make SCVs in the meantime and just keep it constant. And it's actually okay to queue up SCVs. Like, you want to have 1 or 2 SCVs in the queue, no more than that.
Okay.
But while you're learning, it's really not
Not enough
a bad thing, because it's going to help you to make constant SCVs. I don't recommend you queuing up military units, but when it comes to workers, it's definitely not a bad thing. Okay, so we're making our barracks, and then to be safe, we're going to make a depot, and we're going to take a slightly later expansion. Now, you can expand on the low ground, or you can expand in your base. It's going to really depend on what you regularly face when you're on the ladder. But you should be able to get, to be honest, a bunker up in time to start being safe. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making up to 3 bunkers with this build if you're just always facing loads of cheese and you just want to be safe. You want to have lots of marines, bunkers, and a nice economy. You're gonna make a 2-base economy, so we're gonna be doing a fast expand. So we get our orbital now because the barracks is finished, okay?
Mm.
And that's sort of your queue every time. And then we're just gonna make a couple of marines, and then we're gonna, you see how our minerals are now rising up?
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're gonna be able to afford the expansion.
Is it enough with just a couple of marines?
Yeah, but you're not going to cut marines, so you're going to continuously make more. You want to
Okay.
drop your mule when you can, and look, we've got enough.
When did you upgrade the command center?
As soon as your barracks is finished,
Okay.
because that's the only time you can, or that's the earliest that you can, I should say. So I'm actually going to come down and make the bunker now, because you just want to be safe. And now we're just going to have somebody constantly making 1 depot. So as soon as he finishes, that guy is just dedicated. You don't rally him back. He just constantly makes a depot.
Depots.
Yep.
Okay.
And you just want to keep your marines constant.
When did you take your second and third barracks?
Basically when you have the money. So you're going to check. The rule is like 300 minerals for the first 2, but you want to make sure you're constantly making your SCVs, your marines, and your single depot.
Yeah.
And then, after you know that you've got all those building, when your money comes up to 300 is roughly when you do it. So when your minerals hit around 300, you can make 2 barracks at the same time, you see? Okay, so now our command center is finished. So
Do you split up the workers
we
or
get
do
the
you just...
orbital command. Alright, give me a sec. Yeah, now what we want to do, because we are saturated, you can. What you would do, you would pull like maybe 6 or 7 workers to come down and saturate, because that means then you've got workers down there that you can quickly pull to repair bunkers, right?
Yeah.
But it's really important, now that we've got 3 barracks going, you make 2 depots at a time.
The orbital is for enable scans and mules and stuff, right?
Exactly. So every time, all I'm doing now is tapping. It's called like the tap, that's what like Day 9 would call it, or that's like the phrase that he coined. I'm just tapping between my control group that has the command centers and the control group that has the Raxes. So we're actually overqueued there. So that means now I kind of have the money to make some more barracks. So every time we get up to about 300 minerals, and I've got my 2 depots building, got all the marines building, I'm just going to slowly add on more Raxes. So it's really simple. That's going to feel a little bit weird at the start, but you can see the concept of it is really simple, right? You're just making Raxes, depots, SCVs, marines. We're not worrying about gas, we're not worrying about upgrades. We're just trying to explode our economy.
What's like the maximum amount of barracks for 2 base?
Well, this usually it would be 2. Usually it would be 3 to 5. But usually you get 5 if you're either gonna go and put like a lot of pressure on, or you've just made your third. Maybe you make your third. For example, my minerals are getting really high now, so I've just placed the third down. You don't need to worry about the third yet. It's just an example for you.
Not enough minerals.
So I'm just trying to do my best. And now, because we got so many Raxes, like this isn't a standard build. You usually would not make this many Raxes off of 2 base if you're taking gas, because you get things like reactors that let you make 2 marines at a time. So, you know, if you've got 2 Raxes that have reactors on them, you can actually make like 4 marines at a time just out of those. We're not worrying about that just now. So this is all you would do. And it's more about practicing this than trying to get a win with it. Because let's say you lose. Let's say you like actually lose the game. You need to look at the replay and see. So we're going to get to 10 minutes and I'm going to pause it, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to kind of count.
Not enough minerals.
Okay, so it's 10 minutes. If we look up at the top right, there's 100 supply. So you could actually get to 110 supply if you've done everything perfect. They would say like, okay, that's like master's macro or something like that.
Yeah.
So what we would then want to do is do a count of how many workers we've made, and our goal would be a minimum of 50, somewhere between 50 to 52 workers. That's the maximum you could make with this build if you were doing it perfect. Now you don't have to worry if you haven't got that, if you've only got 30 or if you've only got like 45 or whatever. It's just that you would want to make a note of it. It's kind of like your score, and then you're just trying to beat it. So then all you would do after this, you would just grab all these marines and literally just A-click at the back of the enemy base and just go attack. That's simple. Really, really, really simple.
And still just...
And then you just try to keep doing the stuff at home. Like I've got all the marines bound to 1 right now. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea if you can try. I've then rallied all my Raxes to here.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to keep them constant. That's kind of tricky because, you know, you could land third, you could keep making CCs and stuff like that, but you don't need to worry about that so much. It's more about just making the right amount of units and then just going and attacking the guy. And you should find, once you can do this pretty well, you're just going to have so much more stuff. And even if you lose half the army or all of the army to a load of banelings or something like that, as long as you're making more stuff behind it, you're fine, dude. Like, it's completely fine. You've done nothing wrong. Like, and it's just about trying to spend your money. You're going to have so much. Your minerals are just going to be skyrocketing. Like, look at mine. They're just, like, going through the roof. It's, like, really difficult to spend. There you go. Like, really simple. It's just, like, too much stuff. You can't handle it. And that's the real basic idea of the build.
Just making a shitload of marines.
Yeah. And later, there's a different build that I would say you start using, you know, top silver and gold, where you take gases instead of adding on. Let's say you've got to your 3 barracks. You then take gases. You get things like stim, combat shield, factory, medevacs, tanks if you want. All these different sorts of things.
Yeah.
And there's also other builds where you would get gas earlier, and we would then like go over lots of different sort of builds that are in the current meta that could make you safe. A nice little what Terrans would call like a 1-1-1, where you get 1 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport. If you're playing like a TVT, there's so many different builds, but I don't want to overwhelm you at the start. I just want to give you one thing that you can really practice, and then something that you can look at and see instantly after 1 or 2 games. Am I improving? Did it get better? What did I mess up on? So it's just not really complicated, and then you can just go from there. Right, so we're going to jump out of that, and I'm just going to pull you into the replay really, really fast. We'll speed through it just so we can then have a look at the worker count and so on. And this is literally what I would recommend for people that have just like never touched the race, or if they were just brand new to the game, because we can make it complicated really, really quick. It's just important to get SCVs. So like, I guarantee that I did not do that perfectly, and that if I did it again and again and again, say like three times, I can improve on it each time.
Yeah.
And it's actually a nice way to warm up. And I know people that are even in masters that are still, they might open a game and they just do that once, even if it's versus an AI, and then they just go ladder. Okay, so I'm looking at the victory screen right now, and the word victory is probably the least important bit of information on the screen. Victory or loss, that doesn't matter. What we actually want to look at is the average unspent resources. We want to try to keep that low. So that might be something that you look at for yourself as well. You might say, okay, it went up to 800, or it went up to 1,500 or 2,000. So if you make a note of it, and then you just try to keep it lower. See what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, how do you know when you're ready to do another build? Why, you're keeping your money really low. You're making loads of Marines, and then you're going and killing the guy. It's really simple, right? You're making lots of SCVs. So you can't. The important thing is to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I messed up this time, or I made less SCVs than last time. Damn, I still need to work on this, or I got supply blocked. If you're not honest with yourself, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
If you are, there's no harm in making mistakes. Guarantee everybody in the stream that plays is making mistakes every ladder session. That's StarCraft, right? Alright, so we're gonna quickly watch the replay really, really fast, and then I'm just gonna talk you through doing that build step by step whilst you actually play it. And it's only going to be versus a very easy AI, and it's just and I'll tell you, okay, so you're about to make a depot, make a couple more raxes and so on, so you can just jump straight in, and we'll get you trying it.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan.
Yep. And don't worry because it's actually really difficult to listen to somebody talk to you and then play at the same time.
Actually, that's how I learned Protoss.
Awesome.
I had a guy standing behind me.
Yep.
Pylon, gateway,
Excellent.
stalker. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really, really great. Alright, so let me invite you really fast, and we'll have a look. And now you get to say, hey, you messed up, or you didn't have this as well. So I have to be held accountable. That's how it
It's
kinda
almost
should be.
like going to my boss